Good morning, children. Welcome back to mathematics class. How are you all? Hope you all are taking a good care of yourself. So, children, let us start today's class. This is class 10th, subject mathematics, chapter number 10, circles, lecture number 4. And children, content I am going to cover from NCERT. Fine, students? Okay, children, the topics which I am going to cover in today's lecture number 4 of chapter number 10 circle, they are number 1. First of all, I will make you recall the statement of theorem 10.1 and theorem 10.2. After that, we will be doing the sums based on these very theorems from exercise 10.2. Fine, children? So, let us recall the statement of these two theorems. The statement of theorem 10.1 is that radius is always perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. Fine, children? And the statement of theorem 10.2 is that length of the tangents drawn from an external point to the same circle are always equal. Correct, students? Now, children, I am going to take the sums from exercise 10.2 in which the usage of both the theorems is there. Fine, children? So, let us start. This is question number 10. Prove that the angle between two tangents drawn from an external point to a circle. You know very well that from one external point to the same circle, always two tangents are drawn. So, what is said in the question that angle between these two tangents which are drawn from an external point to a circle is supplementary to the angle subtended by the line segment joining the point of contact at the center. So let me explain you the statement through diagram. Children, just look at this diagram. You can better understand the statement of the question. First of all, you will be having a circle given with center point O. Here P is the external point. From this external point, children, two tangents are drawn. Can you name them? Correct. They are PQ and PR. So it means Q and R will be known as point of contacts. Why? Because at point Q as well as at point R, this line, which is line PQ, which is actually the tangent, as well as the circle are going to touch with each other. Correct? So what is said in the question that angle between these two tangents. Here you can see that angle 1 plus angle 2. This is complete angle which is made between PQ as well as PR. That is angle 1 plus angle 2. This is supplementary to the angle subtended by the line segment joining the point of contact at the center. Means here you can see that OQ as well as OR. These are two line segments. Fine, children. Then the angle subtended by these two line segments at the point of contact and the angle made between two tangent, they are always supplementary. So in short, I have to prove that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree. Because supplementary angles are those angles whose sum is 180 degree. I am repeating the statement. Prove that the angle between two tangents, these are two angles. Okay. The angle between two tangents drawn from the external point to the circle, this is supplementary to the angles subtended by the line segment. These are the line segment OQ as well as OR. Joining the point of contact, of course, Q and R are the point of contacts at the center. So what I have to prove that angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 180 degree. Correct, students? So let us start its proof. What is given? Let PQ and PR be two tangents drawn from the external point P to the circle with center O. You can see PQ and PR are two tangents drawn from external point P. Okay, to the circle with center O. I have just explained you what I have to prove. That angle 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to 180 degree. Now, what is the actual name of this angle 1, 2, 3 and 4? This is QPR plus QOR is equal to 180 degree. For your convenience, children, I have given them the name as angle 1, 2, 3 as well as 4. Okay, children. Now you just have a look. Here you know, according to theorem 10.1, that OQ is the radius and OR is also radius of the circle, and radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So what can I say? That angle phi will be of 90 degree. Similarly, children, here also OR is also perpendicular on PR. Fine. Why? Because radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So angle 6 will also be of 90 degree. Correct? So PQOR is forming a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is a polygon having 4 line segments. Look, this is PQ, QO, OR and RP. Fine, children. When two angles of a quadrilateral are of 90-90 each, means their sum has become 180. And according to angle sum property of a quadrilateral, the sum of all the angles, all the 4 angles of a quadrilateral must be 360. So when 180 is going to be subtracted from 360, it means the rest 2 angles will also be supplementary. Understood, children? So now let us have a look on the proof. As OQ is perpendicular on PQ. Why? Because OQ is radius. Radius is perpendicular to the tangent at the point of contact. So which angle is going to be formed over there at point Q? Look, this is angle number 5. So can we write that angle 5 is equal to 90 degree? Clear, children? Similarly, angle 6 will also be equal to 90 degree. Fine. How? Because OR is also the radius that is perpendicular to PR and PR is tangent. Fine, children? I have just explained you that now we have got a quadrilateral, that is PQOR. So angle P plus angle Q plus angle O plus angle R is equal to 360 degree. Why? What is the reason? Angle sum property of a quadrilateral, or you can say that the sum of all the 4 angles of a quadrilateral is always equal to 360 degree. Fine, children? At point P, you know that there were 3 angles formed. Just have a look the diagram once again. This is at point P, 1 and 2 are formed, and at point O, 3 and 4 are formed. Correct, children? So can I write angle 1 plus angle 2 plus at Q 5 is formed, angle 5, plus angle 3 plus angle 4 plus on angle R, it is actually equal to angle 6 is equal to 360 degree. Correct? Angle 5 and angle 6 both are of 90 degree. Angle 6 is here and angle 5 also I have told you that is also of 90 degree. So this 90 plus 90 will make 180. When I am going to take that 180 on right hand side, I have got angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to 360 degree minus 180 degree, that is equal to 180 degree. Now what is angle 1 plus angle 2 actually? This is angle QPR. This is actually that very angle which is made by 2 tangents. This is that angle basically which is made between 2 tangents to a circle. Okay. Then angle 3 plus angle 4 is equal to angle QOR. And what is this angle? This is that angle which is subtended by the line segment joining the point of contact at the center. This is equal to supplementary, that is equal to 180 degree. So hence proved. Now children, let us switch to next question. This is question number 11. Most important question it is. Prove that the parallelogram circumscribing a circle. Yesterday only I explained you. What do you mean by circumscribing? That is covers a circle. It means circle must be made inside the parallelogram. Okay. Is a rhombus. This we have to prove that a parallelogram circumscribing a circle is always a rhombus. So have a look on the diagram. Because it is said that parallelogram is circumscribing a circle, means parallelogram is covering the circle. It means circle will be made inside and parallelogram will be made outside. Okay. So I have to prove that A, B, C, D is a rhombus. Children, you know that ABCD is a parallelogram. If it is a parallelogram, then definitely the length of its opposite side must be equal. So we can say that AB must be equal to DC and BC must be equal to AD. But now I have to prove that ABCD is a rhombus. So according to the property of rhombus, if all the four sides are equal of a parallelogram, then we can say that it will form a rhombus. So if I prove that AB is equal to BC also, and BC is equal to CD also, and CD is equal to its adjacent side DA also, means opposite sides are equal because it is a parallelogram given in the question itself. But now we have to prove that it is a rhombus also. If I prove this, that the adjacent sides are also equal, then it means all the four sides will be equal. So then we can prove that this parallelogram which is circumscribing a circle will be a rhombus. Understood, children? So now let us have a look on the proof. Let ABCD is a parallelogram circumscribing a circle. This is given to us. To prove ABCD is a rhombus means the length of all the four sides is equal. That is, AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA. Fine, children? Okay. Now, what we have to do, we have done the same kind of question earlier also. According to theorem 10.2, children, you know very well that the length of the tangents drawn from an external point to the circle is same. So, here, have a look. If I consider A as the external point, then can I say that AM is equal to AP? They both are equal because this is external point, and from external point the two tangents are drawn and the length of both the tangent is always equal. So if I take point B as the external point, then definitely BM must be equal to BN. Correct? In the same manner, if C is external point, then CN must be equal to CO. This is O written. Correct, students? So we can say that CN must be equal to CO. In the same manner, if D is external point, then DO must be equal to DP. Clear? So this strategy I am going to apply over here. Fine, children? So while considering A as external point, the length of the tangent from point A to the circle, that is equal to AM, is equal to AP. In the same manner, BM is equal to BN. I have just told you right now, explained you. CO is equal to CN and DO is equal to DP. So these are basically four equations. So while adding all these four equations, what do we get? We have got AM plus BM plus CO plus DO. Look here. Must be equal to AP plus BN plus CN plus DP. Here I have written all. Okay. Now children, AM plus BM will make AB. Let me show you. Look, AM plus BM, they are making complete AB. In the same manner, DO plus CO is also making complete CD. Correct, children? So now let us have a look. AM plus BM will become AB plus CO plus DO will become CD. Fine, children. Now let us talk about rest of the two sides. If I add AP and PD, AP plus PD, it would become AD. And BN plus CN will become BC. Let me show you. AP plus PD is equal to AD. This is AP plus PD is equal to AD, and BN plus CN is equal to BC. Correct, children? So while understanding this proof, have you understood something? See, this is AB plus CD is equal to AD plus BC. Yesterday we proved the question up to here. But there we did not have a parallelogram given. We had been given a quadrilateral, right? Fine, children. So this is up to here. Basically, this is the proof of question number 8. Now, later I am going to apply the concept of parallelogram. Given ABCD is a parallelogram. So if ABCD is a parallelogram, it means the opposite side of a parallelogram must be equal. So AB must be equal to CD and BC must be equal to AD. Correct? Now I am going to use these two equations, basically AB is equal to CD and BC is equal to AD, and inserting them or putting them in equation number 5. Just have a look. Can I replace CD by AB? Yes, of course. So it would become AB plus CD has been replaced by AB. Fine, is equal to. Now AD I am going to replace by BC. I have just told you as it is a parallelogram, so opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal. So AD can be replaced by BC. I am inserting it over here. So this is BC plus BC. Okay. So AB plus AB will become twice of AB is equal to BC plus BC will become twice of BC. So it implies to AB is equal to BC. Children, they both are adjacent sides. AB is adjacent to BC. Why? Because they have a common vertex B. Okay. So what can we say? Opposite sides were already equal. Adjacent sides also we have proved equal. So can we say that AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DA? Of course, all the four sides will be equal. Correct, children? Okay, one more thing I want to add in it. Here actually I have put the value of CD as AB. Children, you could replace AB also by CD. Fine. In the same manner here at place of AD I have inserted the value BC. So that's why I have got double of BC. But I could change it while AD also. BC could be replaced by AD also. Then in that case I was going to get CD must be equal to AD. Again they both are adjacent to each other. So when all the adjacent as well as opposite sides are equal, so definitely the parallelogram will become a rhombus. Okay. So as all the four sides are equal, so we can say that ABCD is a rhombus. Hence, the parallelogram circumscribing a circle is a rhombus. Clear, children? Now, children, let us switch to question number 12. This is one of the most important question of this exercise. So what is there in this question? A triangle ABC is drawn to circumscribe a circle. Means triangle is covering a circle. It means again circle will be inside the triangle. Of radius 4 centimeter. We have been given the circle of radius 4 centimeters such that the segments BD and DC into which BC is divided by the point of contact, that is D, are of length 8 centimeter and 6 centimeter respectively. We have to find the sides AB and AC. These are the sides of the triangle and we have to calculate their length. So children, the diagram is given in the question itself. So I am explaining you the statement using the diagram. Please have a look. First of all, we will be having a triangle given ABC. The name are given like this only. This is given actually CB as the baseline. So ABC is a triangle. The triangle is covering or circumscribing a circle. It means circle is made inside. Okay. Then what else is said? Such that the line segment BD, this BD, and DC, into which BC is divided by the point, that is D point, which is actually the point of contact, of length 8 centimeter and 6 centimeter respectively. Now I have to calculate the length AB, this complete length, as well as the complete length AC. Fine, children? Because BC I know that is 14 centimeter. So let us start its solution. What is given? CD is equal to 6 centimeter. DB or BD is equal to 8 centimeter. And radius, children, you know that has been given, that is 4 centimeter. So here OD is 4 centimeter. OE will also be 4 centimeter because this is also the radius. Similarly, OF is also the radius of the circle. So this will also be 4 centimeter length. Fine. Now what else I did, children? I have just joined OC, OA and OB. Fine. Now let the circle touches the other sides AB. This is AB. And AC at point E and F. I have given them the points, the name of these points, that is E and F respectively. Fine, children? Now children, again I am going to apply theorem 10.2. What is the statement of that theorem? We know that the tangents drawn from the external point to the circle are always equal in length. So let us take C as the external point. Okay. then definitely CD must be equal to CF. But children, I know the measurement CD. The length of CD I know. So this is equal to 6 centimeter. It means CF will also be 6 centimeter. In the same manner, if B is external point, then BD must be equal to BE. So if BD is 8 centimeter, then BE must be 8 centimeter. As I have to calculate the complete AB, but I do not know the measurement of AE as well as AF, as it is not given in the statement. So let us assume them as X. So children, if you consider AE as X, so definitely AF will also be X. Can you give me the reason behind it? Correct. The length of the tangent drawn from the external point, here A is external point, to the circle up to point of contact will be equal in length. So if this is X, A is equal to X, then AF will also be equal to X centimeter. So children, have you noticed one thing? That whenever this concept of circumscribing the circle is coming, always I am going to apply theorem 10.2, that the length of the tangent from the external point to the point of contact is equal. Fine children. So the same whatever I have explained you, I have written over here. CD must be equal to CF, that is equal to 6 centimeter. BD must be equal to BE, that is also equal to 8 centimeter. And AF I have assumed as X centimeter, so AE must be X centimeter. Fine. Now children, just notice one thing. Have a look please. When I joined OC, OB and OA, I have got three triangles. Name them please. This is OCB, another one is OAB, another one is OAC. These are three triangles. One this part, another this is the triangle, and the third one is this. Fine children. So just tell me one thing. If I calculate the area of these three triangles and I add those three areas, so will I be capable to find the area of the complete triangle ABC? Of course, because complete triangle ABC is nothing but the combination of these three smaller triangles. What are the names? COB, triangle BOA and triangle AOC. Correct children? Okay. Now just tell me one thing. OD is radius and BC is tangent. So we know that radius is perpendicular to the tangent according to theorem 10.1. So can I write here 90 degree? OD is perpendicular to CB. So when this has become 90 degree, in the same manner children, can I write that OE is also perpendicular on AB? In the same manner, I can write that OF is also perpendicular on AC. Correct. So it means I have got a right angled triangle. I have got basically three right angled triangle. So how to calculate the area of a right angle triangle? That is half into base into height. So I have to apply half into base into height in triangle BOC, then in triangle AOB and in triangle AOC. Correct children? Now children, in triangle BOC, this BC will be the base and of course OD will be the perpendicular, or I should say it height. So it would become half into 14 into 4. Correct? So let us check. Area of triangle OCB is equal to half into base into height. That is half into BC, or I should say it CB into OD. So that is half into 14 into 4. I have just told you 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So 14 into 2, that is 28 centimeters square. This is area number 1. Fine. Now I am going to calculate area of another right angle triangle, that is OCA. So let us check it through diagram. Then we will have a look over here. Please have a look. This is OCA. This triangle I am talking about, the left side triangle. So this is half into, what is base? AC into height is OF. So it would be half into, this is complete x plus 6 into 4 centimeter. Fine children? So area of triangle OCA is equal to half into AC into OF. Okay. So this is half into, what was the length of AC? X plus 6 into what is radius? That is 4 centimeter. So 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So x plus 6 into 2, children, I have got 2x plus 12 centimeter square. So this is area number 2. Now children, our third right angle triangle is OAB. So what is base? Base is 8 plus x. And what is height? That is 4 centimeter. So let us apply. So children, area of triangle OBA is equal to half into base, that is AB, into OE is radius, or I should call it height. So this is a half into x plus 8 into 4. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4. So children, I have got 2x plus 16 centimeter square. This is the area of third right angle triangle. As children, I told you that if I want the area of the complete triangle, then I can add the area of these three right angle triangle area. Fine children? So area of complete triangle ABC must be equal to area number 1 plus area number 2 plus area number 3, that is A1 plus A2 plus A3. So what was A1? 28 plus A2 we have just found, that is 2x plus 12, and A3 we have just found, that is 2x plus 16. So 2x plus 2x will give us 4x. 28 plus 12 plus 16 we will be getting 56 centimeter square. Correct children? Now children, after adding the area of three right angle triangle, I have got the area of complete triangle ABC. But here there is x present, and basically I want the value of x so that I will be capable to find out the length of AB as well as AC. Fine? So now children, I am going to calculate the area of this bigger triangle. Once I have calculated, how did I calculate? I just calculated the area of three right angle triangle and added them all. So through that I have calculated the area of complete triangle. Now there is another way also to calculate the area of complete triangle ABC. How? As I know that the length of all the three sides are given, so I am going to apply Heron's formula. So before Heron's formula, I have to calculate semi-perimeter. What is semi-perimeter children? Semi means half, and perimeter is nothing but the sum of the length of all the three sides of a triangle. So if I am going to calculate the sum of the length of all the three sides of a triangle and going to divide it by 2, it means I will be capable to find out semi-perimeter of the triangle ABC, which is basically required to calculate the area of triangle ABC using Heron's formula. Fine. So I am going to denote it by S, which is semi-perimeter is equal to half into AB plus BC plus CA. Okay, half into what is AB? AB is x plus 8. Let us check. Look, AB is x plus 8. And what is AC? AC is x plus 6. And what is BC? BC is complete 14 centimeter. So I have put the values over here. Half into x plus 8 plus 14 plus x plus 6 or 6 plus x. So after adding them, I have got 2x plus 28 upon 2. Can I take 2 as common? So children, 2 and 2 will be cancelled, and I am going to get x plus 14 as the semi-perimeter of the triangle ABC. So children, S is equal to semi-perimeter of triangle ABC is equal to x plus 14 centimeter. Okay. Now let us recall Heron's formula. To calculate area of triangle ABC is equal to whole under root S into S minus A into S minus B into S minus C. Here S is the semi-perimeter and A, B, C are the length of the sides of the triangle ABC. Fine children? So what is S? S is x plus 14 into, this is x plus 14 minus, what is A? A is the length of side BC, that is 14. So minus 14 I have written over here. Now this is again S. S is what? X plus 14. B is the length of the side AC. And AC is what? X plus 6. So when minus will enter inside the bracket, this is minus x plus 6 actually. So it would become minus x minus 6. Fine children? Into, again semi-perimeter is x plus 14 and the length of the third side, that is AB is equal to x plus 8. So it would become minus x minus 8. Fine children? Now this is whole under root x plus 14 as it is. Plus 14 and minus 14 are going to be cancelled. Plus x minus x cancel. Plus x minus x cancel. So here I have got x into. This is actually the sign of into, which I have put as dot. That is considered as into. 14 minus 6, that is 8, and 14 minus 8 is 6. Okay. So I have got whole under root x plus 14 into 8 6 are 48 x. So let it consider as equation number 2. Now children, this is the area of triangle ABC. Do you remember we have calculated area of triangle ABC earlier also while adding the area of 3 right angle triangle? Okay. Now when both are the areas of the same figure, so can't we equate them? Of course. So from equation number 1 is what? This was also the area of triangle ABC. Have a look. This is equation number 1, area of triangle ABC. And I have just calculated area of triangle ABC while applying Heron's formula. So I am going to put both of them equal. Okay. So here from equation number 1, I am going to take 4s common. So what I have got inside the bracket, this is 14 plus x. And here this I have written as it is. Okay. Now 48 I am going to split it in 2 terms. It would become 16 into 3. So this is whole under root x plus 14 into 16 into 3x is equal to 4 into 14 plus x. Fine children. Now 16 is the perfect square. So 4 will come out. So in under root what will be left? 3x into root x plus 14. Correct children. Here this is also 14 plus x. So root x plus 14 and here x plus 14. This is one time occurring. And under root means half time occurring. So if I am going to bring it on right hand side, so it would become 14 plus x upon x plus 14, or I can call it 14 plus x divided by half. Correct children? Fine. And if I am going to take it on numerator place, so as you know that when bases are same, then it would become x plus 14 into 1 minus half. Because when you are going to take x plus 14 at numerator place, it would become with exponent minus half. Bases are same, so it means 1 plus minus half, the powers will be added. So I am going to get x plus 14 under root. Fine. Or you can just better understand, this is occurring half time, this is occurring one time. So 1 can be split in 2 parts, that is half plus half. So 1 half is going to be cancelled. Only 1 half will be left, that is root 14 plus x. Correct children? So this is also root 3x. Now squaring on both sides. When I squared on both sides, this root is going to be cancelled. So I have got 3x is equal to x plus 14. So this 3 is going on left hand side, that is 2x is equal to 14. So what is the value of x? X is equal to 7. So children, after calculating the value of x, we have to just calculate the length of the side AB. That was x plus 8. X is 7 plus 8, that is 15 centimeter. Okay. And the length of the another side AC, that is 6 plus x, is equal to 6 plus 7 is equal to 13 centimeter. Correct children? So what are the length of the three side of the triangle? AB is equal to 15 centimeter, AC is equal to 13 centimeter, and BC we had been given that was 14 centimeter. Correct students? So that's it for the day. This is the time to get mathematics homework. Please note down maths homework. Children, I have covered each and every question of exercise 10.2. I myself have taken all the questions. Hardly 2 or 3 questions I have given you to do yourself. Fine. So you please just keep on revising those questions which are explained by me. Fine. For better clarity of the concept. Because once you are going to do those questions yourself, you will be confident enough. Please note down maths homework. Only question number 13 is left. You just try question number 13 of exercise 10.2. And you have to do, children, example number 2 and 3. They are very important examples. Many times asked in board exam also. Of exercise 10.2. They are on pages 212 and 213. Fine. In practice notebook. Just try these 2 examples. Do yourself. Do not go for the solutions which are written in the book. Fine. I hope you will be able to solve them in the easiest manner. And you have to try question number 13. This was given yesterday also to try. Fine. Of exercise 10.2. This is trial work which will be done in practice notebook. And you have to do classwork questions which I have covered today. That is question number 10, 11 and 12 of exercise 10.2 in homework notebook. Correct, students? Now that's it for the day. Hope you may have understood whatever I have taught you in today's lecture, and you will be capable to do these very questions which I have assigned you to do. Fine, children? Please like the video and do not forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you and have a nice day.